Today I'm taking you on what might just be the strangest train I've ever ridden. This is Cambodia's crazy Mexican trains. Originally built for a short branch line, these trains are now used on brutal 7-hour long trips. So join me for a trip with the Cambodian railways as we check out these very strange trains. From their weird interiors to their innovative boarding system involving an actual ladder, and uncover the story of how Cambodia ended up with just 3 of these unusual trains all the way from Mexico. We begin our journey at the surprisingly modern Phnom Penh railway station in the Cambodian capital city. And as we head over to the station building, I discovered something a bit strange. The actual station building is only open from 8 AM, which is after all the trains have left in the morning, and it closes again at 8 PM before the trains return. So instead, you have to walk all the way around the building, alongside this road that leads to a parking lot, and then you can access the station. It turns out a small section of the station building is actually open, but only the entrance from the side facing the platforms. I've already purchased my ticket online, so no need to queue here. Aside from the small ticket office, the station building seems mostly just to consist of a large phone provider store. Anyway, the more interesting part of this journey is gonna be the train, so let's head back to the platforms. Cambodia currently has 3 different types of passenger train models that see regular use, across their 2 daily round-trip train services from Phnom Penh. The first train of the day to depart is the service for Battambang, leaving daily at 6:40 AM. The Battambang service for the past few years has generally been operated using these Hitachi RHN railcars, which were gifted to Cambodia in 2019 by the Thai Railways. Parked behind the Battambang train is the 7 AM service to Sikahnookville we'll be catching. This service generally uses one of these Mexican trains, but we'll talk more about them in just a moment. Because parked on the other platform is the newest addition to the Cambodian Railways fleet. Last year, Cambodia acquired 11 former Japanese trains from JR Hokkaido. These trains are currently gradually being phased into service on both the Battambang and Sikahnookville routes. The official Royal Railway Cambodia Facebook page is very good at announcing when these new trains operate, and when they are not in service, you'll get either the Mexican or former Thai train. And speaking of the former Thai train, that one is now ready to depart for Battambang. With the Battambang train now gone, we can take a proper look at these Mexican trains. Surprisingly little are known about them. They were built by a Mexican company in 2018, and as far as I can tell, it's the only full train the company has ever built from the ground up. No one really seems to know why this unknown Mexican manufacturer was chosen to deliver these trains and how they were paid for, but the registration number starting with AS reveals their intended purpose. These trains were intended to be used on the airport shuttle AS to Phnom Penh Airport opening in 2018. And while they did serve that route for a couple of years, the line closed during the pandemic, and now these trains are instead deployed on the 7-hour trip down to Sikahnookville. I have no idea what to expect inside these trains, but boarding a train with like 8 steps to get into it is definitely very unusual. While the train does look a bit cramped and basic, I was fearing much worse. And while you technically can reserve a seat online, including the toilets for some reason, In reality, these are not real and you can just sit wherever you want. So I picked this seat. And 2 minutes behind schedule, the doors are closed and we are ready for departure. And as our train wobbles its way out of the station, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. We are on board the daily service departing at 7 AM for Sikahnookville. While it's a bit hard to figure out where this train is actually scheduled to stop en route, there is at least 3 intermediate stations. The route covers 236 kilometers and is scheduled to take 6 hours and 36 minutes, giving the train an average speed of an incredible 40 kilometers an hour. As we make our way out of the city, we pass by the main maintenance facility for the Cambodian railway. There are a few interesting sights here, including one of their older locomotive-hauled carriages, which have now been painted into the livery of JR Hokkaido like their new second-hand trains. Which I guess might be a form of piracy, I don't know. As we continue our way through the suburbs of the city, we get a glimpse into the poor living condition a large portion of Cambodia's population is still subject to. It really puts things into perspective, especially when I'm making a video like this, slightly taking the piss out of the train, because Cambodia has plenty of other challenges far more important than minor quirks about its railway. And one of those quirks is seemingly there's no working signaling systems on the railway, with staff just communicating via radio where their trains are. This also means here at the junction with the line to Battambang, a staff member has to manually get off the train and switch the points so we can head the correct way. And as you saw when we boarded the train, these trains are so incredibly tall that in order for the staff member to get in and out of the train, they need to deploy a ladder to close the gap. Right, and off we go again. With us now continuing, I think it's about time we take a look at the seat and the train's interior. And to my surprise, despite the seats looking very basic, they were actually very well padded and kinda comfortable. But in terms of amenities, that's where it stops. There's no tables or blocks or any other fancy features. Well, except the tables installed behind the back of every seat. The train was also nicely air conditioned and fitted with loads of modern displays that seem to serve no purpose. And while the train is equipped with a bathroom, I initially thought it was out of use. But after my trip, I learned that you are actually supposed to untie the rope and shut the door to the driver's compartment, which was just left wide open at any other time. The track quality along this route is by no means great. We mostly snailed our way out of Phnom Penh, mostly at speeds of about 40 km per hour, but once we got out in the open, we could get up to a whopping 60 km an hour. But at these high speeds, the ride quality really suffers, with the train bouncing all over the place and loud bonk noises being heard at every rail joint. We're now coming up on Takeo, where I will end my trip, so let's start summarizing. So far, I've had a pretty fun time. The seats are surprisingly comfortable, and all the, let's call it, different operational practices compared to my home region of Europe is very interesting to watch. But make no mistake, overall this Mexican piece of shit is probably the worst train I've ever been on, and I probably wouldn't be as cheerful had I spent all 7 hours on it down to Sikahnookville. The suspension is so poor, combined with the uneven track, that I think it could trigger motion sickness. Amenities on board are basic at best, and it does kinda feel like the train could just fall apart at any moment. And perhaps they do, because the trains no longer feature their original front design, instead just having some metal plates slapped onto them. That said, I think this was a great experience. Not only did I get to see Cambodia from a different perspective, it was also very interesting. And with tickets costing just $6 for the 2-hour ride down to Takeo, I can't complain about the price either. We arrive at Takeo at 08:50, right on time. So it's time to make our way down from the tall train, this time using the train's own retractable steps. And even with 4 steps down, once you get to the end, you still have quite a bit of distance to the ground. The train stops here for 10 minutes, allowing other passengers to stretch their legs or purchase something from the platform vendors. I had one more look at the disco lights on the front of the train, and no, this is not a camera frequency anomaly, they were generally flashing like that. As the train gets ready to depart and continue its journey for a further 5 hours south, it's time for me to remind you that if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one like this every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Blue Sky at intercitysimon.com. I usually post live from my travels over there in real time, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.